Hello and welcome to my crafty channel. We are up to day 2 of looking and discovering new crafting goodies from the Stampin' Up 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. So yesterday we had the stamp set that came with the box, but we also opened up our first little window and it had this little set of dies, which I've just placed onto a magnetic sheet, so it's in with everything else. So let's open up window number 2. So let's find it. It's sitting over here. It looks like a lovely big gift box, so I'll just carefully perforate it and get our little ways into it. So exciting opening these things. I don't know, it makes you feel like a kid again. Let's see if I can get in there. There we go. Oh, and this looks rather familiar. It looks a little bit like some of the patterns that's going on the outside here and on the very outside. So let's open it up. It's some DSP. How many sheets have we got in here? I do like how well it's been packaged. It's feeling like it's really well protected. So we seem to have two sheets of each pattern. They are single-sided, so we've got that gorgeous little pattern there. This one's just got a lovely little leaf on it. I think that's called your basic beige with a little bit of a leaf pattern. That one's extra pretty. It's a little bit like the colours I was playing with yesterday for one of my little embellishment clusters. And oh, look at that. That's quite whimsical. Lovely soft pinks. And then we've got something a little more plainer patterns. That's nice. Again, slightly plainer patterns. They've got a white feel to them, but they've, white and the basic beige coming through. Some greens, perfect, always useful to have some of these pieces that can tone down the patterns. Some more blues, isn't that gorgeous? Some very delicate looking ones there with a lot more yellow coming through. And some other lovely little blues. I do love the blues. So look at all that gorgeous DSP. We are spoilt with choices. So how many was that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 sheets of 6x6 paper. Right, so let's put our thinking caps on and create a fun project with that new addition to our set. So I couldn't really decide which paper to use, and I decided I would just cut some strips. This was actually inspired by some artwork that's in our recent online exclusives that you will now be seeing on my website. And I'm just taking sort of between 1/2 inch and maybe about 1 1/4 inch widths of the 6-inch pieces of paper, and I'm just using a variety of them. I'm going to go through and trim these down so that they don't have just a blunt edge on every single edge. Some of them I'll keep straight, some I might put an angle on just to make it a little bit interesting and just to give that little bit of I suppose higgledy-piggledy differences. So what I'm doing is creating quite a large thick border. I think these colours are soft enough to be able to use them all together. Even though there's pattern on pattern, I think it looks quite neat. But I am interspersing some slightly more plainer pieces here and there. The pinks, the greens, there's a barely beige piece, a few little bits here and there that I can place in so that it doesn't look quite so cluttered. Now, also to help this work is to go around the edges with a sponge dauber. And so I've gone around with a deep blue. You could use any deep colour really, browns, greens, any of those shades will work, and I'm using a sponge dauber just to make the edges look a little nicer. So I've got everything stuck down now. I went around all the edges of our strips so that they could stand out that little bit more, so we're all ready to embellish. So I've gone and had another look at that stamp set. We have got some beautiful flowers, so I thought the larger flower would be really nice sized for this page. I have gone ahead and done some white emboss. So to do white embossed, you simply just use your white ink pad and then you sprinkle over the white powder and heat it up, and it sets with a lovely bright white image. So that might be enough of colour. If I want to though, I may want to pull in a few pinky ones as well, so I thought I would stamp a couple of pink ones on the video so you can see how that works. So I'm just going to take a light colour and I'm going to ink up that colour first onto my stamp. Then I'm going to take a slightly darker colour and do a little bit of rocking and rolling around. And let's just see if that's got enough variation in colour to look quite pretty. So that came out okay. It's a little bit soft in the middle, so I think I'm going to put away that lighter one and just start with the middle one and go to a more deeper colour still, just to give us a little variation of colour. So now that I'm using a Stampin' Up ink, I like to use a sponge rubber to do the extra bit of colour on it, because it is quite a juicy pad. It will take over some of the other inking that I've already done. So I'm just going to use a sponge rubber, go around the edges, and let's just see if that's giving us a little bit more colour, which could be a nice contrast with our white flowers. Yep, so that's definitely a richer stamp. So I might do a few variations on this, maybe slightly less of the darker colour this time, just a little bit around the outside edges. Let's see how that one comes out. And see if we've got a little bit more. Yeah, that's a little bit more of the pinky tones that are coming in here rather than the reddy pink. That's looking quite good. We'll do one more on here as well. So once again, just a few on the tips. So we have a little variety. I could even pull in a little bit of white ink to soften the pink colour if I wanted to. So I'll go off and cut those out so we've got a little variation of some of our flowers. Now I've also looked in my stash to find some slightly larger leaves. So this is always my go-to. I love this set. It's called the Thankful Garden Dies. Those two are really, really pretty shapes. So I've cut some out of some of the greens. That's Mossy Meadow I've used. And where's another one here? This one's a bit more like the fern colour. Our old olive, I should call it. Looks quite like a fern. So, you know, we're getting a variation of shades. And I also got this other shape from a more recent stamp set, die set called Impressions of Bloom. So I've got a little variety of leaves I can pull in to go with my beautiful flowers. I'm also thinking that it would be quite nice to pull in a couple of little delicate leaves. So the little leaves that come in the die set itself, we've got some of these lovely little white ones. So I'm thinking I might pull in a few of those more delicate ones. And I've also cut a few little pink hearts, just because I'm thinking this might be a little layout of my little cat. And of course we love our little hearts coming through. So I've got lots of options for decorating. So I'm going to speed up the camera and have a little play at putting it all together. Having everything pre-cut and ready to go makes creating that last little bit of embellishing so much easier. Just tucking in a couple of these leaves, the beautiful flowers. I do like the variation between the pink and the white. And then I'm going to pull in some of the little white leaves as well, just for a little tiny element. To finish it, I do decide to bring in some butterflies. So I stamped in a couple of butterflies and gave them a lovely little body. So that's a two-step butterfly from the stamp. They look pretty cute, along with those gorgeous little hearts as the tiny embellishments. I think this has come together really well. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this lovely new little project with day 2 of the Advent calendar. It was a lot of fun to make. Thanks for watching.